Good afternoon. Today we are working on CO24, continuing to work with percentages, but we're getting into the more complicated percentages. Remember I said those first few objectives are like easy, converting, decimal, percentage, fraction, I got it. But now we're getting into the more meatier stuff. So today's is I can find a new amount after an increase. So here are some more situations you might be familiar with having to do with percentages. So the last objective was more real world. This is even more of the real world. Last week you ran 20 miles, and this week you plan to increase that distance by 15%. How many miles will you run this week? Or maybe you buy an iPod off of eBay for $125 and you want to resell it with a 30% markup. You want to make a profit, a 30% profit. So how much should you charge for that iPod? Or maybe your bowling score was 180 and your goal is to raise it by 45%. What score are you going to set as your goal? So as we saw in Pa Co24, there is more than one way we can answer the questions above. So we have finding the amount of increase first, and then our other method is finding the new total directly. So let's look at what that means. Our first example with the running. We want to find the amount of increase first. We want to find what that percentage is for, like we did in our last objective. So we want to know 15% of 20 equals what? What is 15% of 20? How can I find that? Finley?
You could do 15% multiplied by 40.
Yeah, 15% times 20. What is, how could I put this easily into my calculator if I want to multiply it?
20 times 15.
Not just 15. It wouldn't be 20 times 15, it would be 20 times
15.
But if I don't want to use the percentage, what could I convert that percent to be? Not into my calculator, I don't want to do fractions. Decimal. What would 15% be as a decimal? Finley?
0.15.
Yeah, so I could put into my calculator 0.15. The word of means multiply. So 0.15 times 20 equals what? Who's got a calculator up? Emily. 3. So 15% of 20 is 3. Now comes our second step. This is the amount of increase. So we're increasing it by 15%. We're increasing it by 3. Because 15% is 3. So we go to our 20 and we add 3 to it. So we want to run 23 miles. Now, with this objective, it's important that we think it through. It is amount of increase. So is our number going to be bigger or smaller than our original number? It's going to be bigger. We are increasing. So if you get an answer that is smaller, you did your math wrong somewhere. Also think it through logically. 15% of 20. 15% is closer to 0, right? So it's going to be a smaller number. If I hit like 100, that's going to be way too big, right? So we know 15% is going to be a small number, so I'm going to look at it logically. Does this make sense? Okay. We're increasing 20 by 15%. Does 23 logically make sense? Yeah. It's going to increase a small amount. Let's look at the iPod, doing the same method. So our iPod costs $125 and we want to resell it with a 30% markup. So I need to first find out what is 30% of that $125. So in my calculator, what would I put in? What calculation am I gonna put into my calculator? Finley,
0.30 times 125.
yeah. 0.30 times 125. How much money is my increase going to be, Bo?
37.5.
$37.50. When we're working with money, we want to go out to that 100th place, right? So that's not what I'm charging, right? Because I'm increasing it. I bought it for $125. I sure don't want to sell it for 37, right? I want to make a profit. So what am I going to charge? If I want to make it a 30% increase, what is the final price I'm gonna charge for my iPod? What do I have to do? What math am I gonna do, Colton?
125 plus 37.5.
125 plus 37.5. So that wonky light above you, Tochi, I'm really sorry. I will email them to fix that, because, that's kind of crazy. So sorry about that for your table. I will get that fixed. What is 125 plus 37.50? Clara?
162 and 50 cents.
So I'm gonna charge $162.50, and I'll make a 30% profit. Our last one, bowling. I have a score of 180 and I want to raise it by 45%. So I'm gonna write it out the same way. 0.045, that's 45%, times my 180. What is that? What increase would that be? What is 45% of 180? I see calculators out. Who knows? Joe?
81.
81. So what's my second step? How do I find my answer? What goal score should I have? What's the second step? Only Finley knows, Clara knows, who else knows? What's my second step? Cam?
You add 81 to 180.
I need to add it to my original amount. It's increasing by that much. So 81 plus 180 is how much? What should my score be, Henry?
161.
Say that one more time?
Or, 260.
Okay, because that's not what you originally said, is it? Okay, didn't think I was hearing you right. All right, so 81 plus 180 is 261, so my goal score is 261. Thinking it through logically, 45% is almost half. It's gonna increase by almost 90. So 180 up to 261, that's almost 90 more. That makes sense. Logically, it makes sense. I keep coming back to looking at your answer, because we don't ever want to just do the math and say we're done without stopping and thinking, does it make sense? Okay. With math, it's really important because it's super easy to make a little mistake. We might forget to put 45% as a decimal, and we might say 45 times 180. Who's got a calculator out? What is 45 times 180?
8,100.
8,100. Would it logically make sense to increase from 180 to over 8,000 for your score?
I don't think that's possible.
It's not logically possible, but there are people who would put that as their answer without thinking. Oh, I did the math, that's my answer, okay, next one, I just want to be done. I just want to move on. But if you don't stop to think, does it logically make sense? Can I have a bowling score of over 8,000? No, I cannot. I went wrong somewhere. I need to find my mistake, because it's super easy to forget to put a decimal, right? That's a mistake that we could see happening. It happens. But catch those mistakes. Say, wait a minute, this doesn't logically make sense. Where did I go wrong? So this is our first method. Finding the amount of the increase and then adding it to that original amount. Our second method It's called finding the new total directly. We have a little formula you're gonna write down. Here's our formula. You take the original amount, and we're gonna multiply that by that percentage increase. So instead of saying just 30%, we would say, or 15%, we would say 100% plus 15%. So that P is the percent that you're given in your problem. So our original amount for the miles that we're running is 20. So we're gonna multiply that 100% plus 15%. What is 100% plus 15%? Finley?
115%.
115%. What would that be as a decimal? Colton?
1.15.
1.15. So we're gonna multiply 20 by 1.15. What is 20 times 1.15? Oh,
23.
look at that. We get the same answer. Both methods are acceptable to use. Some of us say, oh, it makes sense to me, I find how much I'm percentage of increase and then I add it to it. This one, we're doing our adding first and then we multiply. So instead of multiplying and then adding, we add then multiply. We get the same answer. So let's look at our iPod. Our iPod was originally $125. What am I gonna multiply that by? What do I multiply 125 by? Victoria? What is 100% plus 30%, Victoria? 130%, right? Because that's the 100 plus the percentage you're given, which is 1.30. What is 125 times 1.30? So everybody should have their calculator up. What is it, Leo?
162.50.
162.50 because it is money. Dollar signs are important. Okay, labels are important. 23 miles, $162.50. Let's look at our last one, bowling. Our score is 180 and we want to raise it 45%. What should my equation be? Who can tell me what the equation is I'm going to use? Clara.
Wait,
100% plus 45%, which gives me what percentage, Clara? 145%, which is what decimal? 1.45, right? Because I can just multiply that decimal out. So what is 180 times 1.45? Ellen?
261.
261. So my new goal score is a score of 261. Same answer I got the other way. So like I said, some of us are going to say one way speaks to you more than the other way. For my brain, the second way speaks to me. I get it. I'm just increasing it by that 100% and then I multiply. Okay. So either way. Now it says underneath that, we're going to use one of these methods to answer the questions using a sales tax of 7%. So if it asks you to include sales tax, sales tax is 7%. This is a big deal, because when we go to the store, unless it's food or clothing, you get charged sales tax, right? You wanna buy a new soccer ball, there's sales tax on it. Soccer ball costs $20 and you've got 20 in your pocket, can you afford the soccer ball? No, because you gotta factor in the sales tax. So it's important to know when we go to shopping, this is real world. You need to know sales tax. So we purchase a calendar for $12 and pay with a $20 bill. How much is your change? Well, it costs $12 and I pay with 20, do I get $8 back? Why not, Ellie?
Because you need to, like, you need to add the sales.
Yeah, because there's tax on that calendar. So how can I figure out how much they're gonna charge me? What math should I do? Clara?
20 minus 12.
Nope, not yet. We can't subtract anything yet. We have to do the sales tax first. So the first thing we do is figure out that sales tax, figure out what that new price is gonna be. And then our last step is subtracting that from the $20. So our first thing we have to do is figure out, not $12, how much is the cashier gonna tell me that I owe? So how do I figure that out? Colton, walk me through it.
You do 12 times 0.07 or 7%.
And what do you get?
0.84,
Okay,
and you add that to 12.
okay, so you did the first method. So 12 plus 0.84. So we found that percentage of increase, that increased amount. We add it to the original $12, and we get $12.84. Now, Clara, what do we do?
20 minus 12.4.
20 minus 12.84. Okay, we start with the big number that we are paying. I'm paying with a $20 bill. She's taking out $12.84. How much is my change? How much does she give me back, Emily? $7.16. Now, Colton used the first method to do it. To use the second method, I would have done what? What calculation should I put on the board? Joe?
Let's see, I have it written down.
Yeah, we shouldn't have turned our page because we're still on this page.
So it would be 12 plus, or 12 times 100% times 7%.
Not times.
Oh,
No.
no,
100% plus 7%. So that 100% plus, oops, 7%. So that would be 12 times 107%, which is the same as 1.07. What is 12 times 1.07, Joe? Stop turning your page.
Wait, I was still
Oh, okay, yes.
12.8.
And we get that same amount of 12.84. We have to do the same math, that same final step. So it doesn't matter which method you use, you get the same amount that you owe. And you have to subtract it from that $20. Let's look at our second one. You purchase a mango skin belt for $19.50, 2 packs of batteries for $4.50 each, and a phone case for $3.75. You pay with a $50 bill. How much is your change? Oh my goodness. Multi-step problem. Multi-steps. What do you think our first step should be? Henry?
Finding the sales tax on the mango skin and belt.
Nope. Victoria? So think about what the cashier does at the counter. She scans everything first, right? So she gets that, it's called a subtotal. So you have to figure out how much the whole bunch of it costs. Then we do the sales tax. So, I've got $19.50 plus what? Joe,
$4.50.
plus what?
$3.75.
Is that all I'm adding up? Victoria? Oh my goodness gracious. We have to be very, very careful. They love to throw in something like that. You bought 2 packs of batteries. How many did you buy?
2.
Oh, did you? You only bought 1 pack. You have to be very careful. If it says 2 packs of batteries, we need to make sure when we are adding them together that we actually buy 2 packs of batteries plus that phone case. Okay? Be really careful. I'm telling you right now, it pops up a lot. When we have to add up that subtotal, always check to make sure you're putting all the things that you're buying. A lot of times it'll say something when you buy 2 of this or 3 of that. Make sure that you're catching those. So what is our subtotal? If I add all these items up that I'm buying, Ellie?
$47.25.
1950 plus 450 plus 450 plus 375?
I thought we have to do 2 packs of batteries.
Yeah, 450 and 450.
Oh, I put 219, sorry.
Oh, you doubled the wrong one.
Yeah.
Yeah, be careful with that. Finley, what'd you get?
32.25.
$32.25. That sounds better. What do I do now? Now that I have my subtotal, what's my next step? Bo?
50 minus 30.
Oh. What did you forget, Bo? You forgot the tax. That tax is 7%. So our next step is finding out, now we add tax onto everything, so I can use either method to figure out that tax. So my original amount is $32.25. I need to figure out what that increase is gonna be. Colton, what should I do?
32.25 times 0.07.
So I'm going to find the amount of increase first. How much is 32.25 times 0.07, Colton?
Phone a friend, Joe.
1.94.
Say it louder again.
1.94.
All right, so that is my tax, $1.94 tax. What do I do next? Grace,
You add it to the, 32.25.
I add it to my original amount of $32.25. What is my total amount that I'm going to be charged? Pam?
34.5075.
Was that right? That doesn't seem quite right. 5 plus 4 is 9. 11. Is that right? Yeah? Yeah. You know what?
I put it in.
Somebody do this. 32.25 times 0.07. Somebody else do that and tell me what you get. Gavin,
I got it.
tell me this.
Oh, I got 2.25.
Yeah, that's where we're going wrong.
Yeah.
Who did was that the one you
That
phoned a
was
friend
Joe,
on?
yeah.
So phoning the friend,
Oh.
do 32.25 times 0.07. So this is where we're going wrong. What is 32.25 times 0.07, Joe?
Phone a friend.
2.25.
So- There are more digits, and those more digits matter.
Round up.
So it's 32, oh, sorry, not 32, 2.2575. It is money, so what are we gonna round to? No. Clara? We're gonna round to the hundredth place. What is that 5 followed by? What is that 5 followed by? It's followed by a 7. So what does that tell me? How do I round that 5? Does it round up or does it stay the same? Colin? It rounds up. So our tax is $2.26. Rounding matters. If you're off by a penny, you will get it wrong. Rounding matters. So now I'm going to add that to my subtotal. This looks better. $34.51. Whew, that was so much work. Glad I can move on. Can we turn the page and work on the next page? Wait,
Yeah.
who said no? Finley, why'd you say no? Oh my goodness. There are so many steps in here. I always have to go back to my problem and say, what is the question I'm answering? Oh, but I've done so many steps. I'm not done yet. I've got to answer my final question. How much is your change? The cashier's saying I owe $34.51. How do I find my change? Pam?
By subtracting 50 from,
Ooh, careful. You said subtract 50 from. That means I'm going to take $34.51 and subtract 50 from it? Reword your verbal phrase.
I would do 34 subtracted by 50.
Careful. 34 subtracted by 50. So we have to be careful with those verbal phrases that we worked on. You're going to say 50 subtracted by 34.51. Okay, so really, we're going to really be thinking about our verbal phrases. I know the math that you put on your paper looks correct, but we're going to really be watching those verbal phrases that we're using, that we're saying it the correct way, because we don't want to go into negative numbers. Okay, not when we owe money. Nobody wants to go negative. So 50 minus 34.51 gives me how much change do I get back? Holland? So remember, when we're subtracting with all those zeros, we have to borrow. So we got 10 minus 1 is 9, 9 minus 5 is 4, but we've got 9 minus 4. So we don't get $16 back, we get $15.49 back. So be careful with that subtracting. Oh my goodness, is that my final answer? Oh, thank goodness. It is a multi-step problem. Make sure you do every single step. I'm going to tell you right now, there will be a problem like this on the test. And I'm going to tell you right now, that is the one that most students get wrong, because they don't take the time to do every single step, making sure that they're paying for all of the items that is on the, making sure that they're finding that the tax the right way, making sure they're adding correctly and subtracting. So many steps. Biggest problem that we have. Now, let's look at our second page. This is our homework page. The table, you got your original amount, you got your tip is the increase, and then you have to write your new total. So all that math that we just did, that's pick a method. Which method you want to use, fill in your new total. Then we have find the new amount, show your work. Again, same thing. You're increasing 80 by 20%. You're doing the exact same math, it's just worded differently. Same math, pick your method. And then we have a word problem. Be careful with the word problem. Make sure that you are doing every step and answering the final question. Then at the very bottom, we have our review. Do those review. Any questions on today's work? All right, if you are watching this at home, I hope you are well, and I hope to see you soon. Have a wonderful day. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And don't forget, for all of us, Khan Academy is due tonight. So it is your responsibility to make sure you have all of your con done, trying to get them done to that 100%. Don't settle for 25%. That is not a passing grade. Keep redoing it until you get a passing grade, 70% or higher. Okay? We want to learn the math. If you had previous con that was due last week that you did not do, get it done. It's due by tonight. Send me an email. Give me a note saying you got that con done. Yeah. All right. Don't forget to like and subscribe.